Yeah, that wasn't as good as last time. That was way better.
You gotta look at the elbow.
No,
Give the people's elbow.
how's it going, everyone? Welcome to our episode
4 of Game On and Beyond.
It's episode
podcast.
5.
4.
Episode 4 of Game On and Beyond podcast. Woo! We know what's up.
It's 4.
We had to do a little bit of a restart, because life happens. A little bit of technical difficulty. There will be a little bit of audio issues on Zach's mic end, but we're looking to try to resolve that.
Sorry.
Bear with us for now. Don't apologize. It's all good. This is every fledgling podcaster stream goes through these technical glitches. We're going to figure it out for now. Bear with us. Listen. Jump into the different segments. We're going to be talking about a few cool things today. And don't forget to like and subscribe because it's free.
Free 99.
Free 99. There's nothing better than that.
Nothing better.
Speaking of stuff that's not free 99, stuff that's probably really expensive, but also really cool. Let's talk about Lego.
Legos.
Legos.
My ego?
I love Legos. Not Egos.
Oh, dang.
Legos. The little clickable bricks. I should probably have some around here somewhere. Not in my office, but
Egos are actually really good.
Egos are good.
Don't let him.
Maybe they can be a
let
sponsor
him tell
for
you
us
that.
someday.
One day.
The official breakfast of the Game On and Beyond podcast.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
That'd be really cool.
No, we're going to talk about Lego bricks and the Lego Group and Pokemon Company teaming up for a new collaboration coming in 2026 as part of a new multi-year partnership. This was announced Tuesday. There was a brief teaser kind of put up on the Pokemon Company's website that showcases Lego Pokemon together. And of course, everyone's favorite Pokemon, Pikachu, with his little tail kind of sticking up. So kind of alluding to more than likely a Pikachu set being launched. Why would you not? Pikachu's like the flagship Pokemon of the series, probably the most recognizable Pokemon.
Yeah, I think the second most recognizable Pokemon, or at least the most favored one, is Eevee.
Eevee. Oh yeah, of course. There's
That
like
makes
9.
sense.
There's like 9 of them too. So,
True.
The partnership will quote unquote bring the world of Pokemon to life in entirely new ways, allowing fans to build beloved Pokemon in Lego brick form. That was part of a new press release. It is really interesting because for a while, Pokemon has been partnering with Mattel for their Mega Block and like Super Construct lines to come out with different sets. However, it seems like Lego is taking over. So I'm looking forward to that. We were talking earlier in the first recording we tried to do about play sets and the ability to do like a Pokemon Center or like a Pokemart or like a stadium or a gym or something like that. I think would be really cool. So hopefully it's not just character sets. Maybe they could build some cool play sets to go along with it as well.
Yeah, and also what I like what they did with like the Animal Crossing sets that they made was that they would interconnect with like different sets, obviously. So, we had like Tom Nook's corner, but you also got like one of the villagers, like houses or whatnot. And then you can like put it all together and like make your own island essentially. So I'm kind of hoping they do that the same with Pokemon. Maybe like you were talking about gyms, a Pokemon Center, maybe like just some cities in general. Maybe that big old tower that's based off of France from the new
X
game,
and Y, X, Z.
Z and A,
I was thinking of the Sylph Tower or whatever. Remember what was that ghost tower in Pokemon?
Lavender Tower.
Lavender Tower.
Or something. Yeah.
Wait,
Yes.
that's the cave
Nope.
music actually.
No, you're right.
Is it?
No, yeah.
Dude, that's spooky.
Yeah, supposedly some kids got hurt or like deaf from that or something like that.
What? Oh, from the constant like ringing sound of that song?
Yeah,
I believe it.
Something.
Turn down your headphones. If you're listening to our show, we don't talk too loud. We talk right into the mic, so it might get a little loud.
Yeah.
However, don't blow out your ears. Hearing's an important thing.
It is.
So anyway, I'm excited about some of these sets. I'm excited about the potential. Lego has a great eye for detail and really good quality for their products. They are a little pricey, but I think in the future, you might be seeing a couple of those Lego sets in the background here, hopefully, on the Game On and Beyond podcast.
And also, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
This is something that I'm surprised they didn't even do like when Pokemon first started hitting it off in the late 90s.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they really haven't.
Well,
But-
not to get too much into Lego history, I learned recently that Lego was not doing really well for quite a period of time, probably around the 90s and early 2000s. Remember Bionicle?
Yes.
Apparently Bionicle like saved the company.
No kidding.
It became so popular and sold so many sets that it kind of revitalized interest in Lego as a company, especially older age groups of kids who were kind of more into like the more complex sets. So they weren't doing well for a while, but in the recent years they started doing the smart thing, which is licensing Harry Potter. They have Legend of Zelda sets. They have a Mario set coming out, I think, next month or in a few weeks. They announced a Game Boy Lego set. So
Yeah.
I think it's smart. Licensing is the way to go. Get those big franchises in your sets. I know I like Lord of the Rings, and they have so many amazing Lego sets that are just too damn expensive. But if they can make a couple cool, really awesome, like Pokemon diorama type Lego sets, I think I'd be interested.
That's awesome.
So, speaking of awesome things, Warhammer, Space Marines 2. That game was massive. It did really well for Saber Interactive, so you know what that means. A sequel.
What's new?
So, this article came out on March 13th. Saber Interactive and Games Workshop announced that the next installment in the legendary franchise is now officially in development. Space Marine 2 has proven to be a transformative game for Saber. Saber Interactive CEO Matthew Kark said, "It's the culmination of everything we've learned about game development in our 25 years in the business. We are now starting to develop Space Marine 3, a game that carries with it tremendous expectations from our rapidly expanding fan base. While we will continue to support and grow the Space Marine 2 universe over the coming years, we will take all of our learnings and apply them to an even bigger and more spectacular game for the third installment." So there's no details, just the announcement that it's happening. I'm pretty excited. It does show, there was one preview image that shows the Space Marine Titus and the logo next to it. So I guess that could be a spoiler. It's a picture of Titus, so it looks like he pulled through in Space Marine 2. We can expect him to be back in the next game. So, spoilers, he didn't die in Space Marine 2. So, he was also in that awesome short. Did you watch any of the Secret Level stuff on Amazon?
No.
Yeah, you should check out at least the Space Marine episode. There's a Warhammer episode and a D&D episode. I think they're the first 2 episodes of the first season. Awesome. They're like 5 minutes long, like super short episodes. I would really recommend it, especially the Space Marine one.
They're shorter episodes?
I want to say they're like 10, 15 minute, like shorts.
Oh.
Like it's almost like, they're almost like high level, like tech demos for these franchises.
Interesting.
Yeah, D&D's was really cool. They had a really cool, and I think that one was maybe like 20 minutes.
How's the Mega Man one?
I didn't watch the Mega Man one. I heard it was great, but that like he becomes Mega Man like at the end. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of one of those where he fights and they kind of go over his origin, and then at the end, he puts on the suit and they're like, Mega Man. Okay, it's over. And that's the thing. Secret Level's awesome. Oopsies, that's gonna make a loud noise. But it is almost like a tease. I don't know how much they're gonna expand any of these series, but they're really cool, and I would definitely at least recommend those 3. Okay. So yeah, those are ones that I've heard are really good.
Cool.
So I'm excited. Space Marines 2 was really fun. Really cool game. I kind of scratched a little bit of that Destiny itch, without all of the heavy need to play like hours and hours to grind. Mm-hmm. But I'm really excited. I think I'm going to end up picking Space Marine 2 up for PS5 at some point.
Cool.
When it goes on a bigger sale. So, speaking of sales, let's segue. Split Fiction.
Yeah.
After just 1 week, I think it's been about 2 weeks now, it hit 2 million copies sold.
Shout outs to Hazelight.
Insane. Hazelight Studios says that its latest co-op adventure game, Split Fiction, is continuing its roaring start after selling 2 million copies in just 1 week. So this game dropped on March 6th for PS5, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and it managed to secure itself yet another success story. So It Takes Two was hugely successful for, is it Hazelight? Hazelight. I thought it was Hazelight for a minute. They took to social media to celebrate the strong launch, saying that it's blown away by the support from the fans, both new and old. So it says, the team's previous update on Split Fiction sales numbers revealed that a whopping 1 million players picked up Mio and Zoe's sci-fi story only 48 hours after its initial launch. This means another million have each picked up a copy in 5 days since then. So I think that's awesome. This has been a big success story. A friend of mine at work plays it, and he was like, you got to play this with your wife. I think it'd be a really fun co-op experience. There's this friends pass you can do. So let's say we wanted to play it. I can buy it, and you can just jump into my game. I don't think we both have to own it. I think there's a friends pass you have for it. So that's a big thing. A couple million copies in just the first week. or just 2 weeks.
Yeah, especially for
Just 1 week, 2 million copies sold. Holy cow!
especially for a game like this. I mean, they're like, I don't know if they're really considered like an indie studio. I'm assuming.
I don't know. I mean, maybe not so much anymore. I mean,
Maybe
the
like
game,
a double A, maybe.
the games are kind of going. I mean, it's getting popular. I mean, I didn't even realize it says here in 2021, It Takes Two won Game of the Year.
Yeah.
So like that, they probably have a lot of notoriety, but I don't think they're yet like a big triple or quadruple A studio.
Yeah.
But the games they make are reaching a huge audience.
Yeah, man. And Joseph Ferris does a really good job at promoting these games too.
Yeah.
With just his personality and how he just comes off and talks about the games in general. Yeah, man. Shout outs to Split's Fiction. Very proud of them for hitting that milestone.
Yeah, it looks cool.
That's
I think I might actually pick the game up.
Cool.
I'm gonna check it out. I need to start streaming some of these games because I'm gonna start playing a lot more games now that I got a PS5 Pro in my living room.
Oh, you got the Pro?
Yeah.
Dude, let me know how it is.
Dude, yeah, my son straight up roasted me. So I bought, he's like, oh, you got a PS5 Pro? And I go, yeah. And he goes, oh, you paid this much extra money for it, huh? And I was like, I didn't have a PS5, so I didn't pay any extra money. But he tried to straight up like roast me about buying it. But
Dang, what a hater.
just kids, right? So speaking of the opposite of hate, let's call it love. Okay, Konami, right? Some people love them or hate them.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of seeing a little bit of a resurgence with some good remakes and some new entries to their franchise. We had, wasn't there, what game came out recently? Was it Silent Hill 2?
Silent Hill 2 remake.
Silent Hill 2 remake came out, hugely popular.
Very.
We
very good.
have Metal Gear Solid Delta
Yes.
coming out soon.
Very cool. I'm excited.
Konami's cooking. And now we got our first trailer and main series entry in the Silent Hill franchise
Yep.
in 13 years. That's wild to think about. There hasn't been a brand new official Silent Hill game in that long.
Yeah.
Wow. So what have they been doing? Just making like spin-offs and remakes?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. They've been trying to remake a lot of their older properties for obviously newer players and whatnot this
Okay.
generation.
I dig it.
And they've been also been focusing a lot on like indie titles. I mean, with the I might be wrong about this, but I think like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think that was like a Konami
Okay.
property. I think.
Yeah.
So they've been kind of doing that and just revising a lot of their older properties. But finally, we got a new Silent Hill F. Finally got a new.
It's a new trailer, right? I
Trailer,
think there was a
yeah.
first kind of teaser that came out. Yeah. It says this new trailer follows a young girl living in a small Japanese town during the 1960s. That's interesting. That's a cool time period. A first for the series. Fog engulfs the town, and the girl starts to see flowers before running into a shambling woman. More monsters show up, and we see the girl pick up a pipe to defend herself against something off-screen with a spore-covered house behind her. So we have Silent Hill being developed by a Taiwan-based studio named Neobards Entertainment with help from Japanese developers. It was a stream that Konami had put on, a transmission stream, I think last Thursday, that detailed the new footage. I don't think there is a release date, which there is not, but it will be released on the PlayStation 5, PC, Xbox Series X, and you can wishlist it now on Steam.
Yeah,
So,
man.
that's pretty cool. Horror games aren't always my cup of tea, but games like Silent Hill have always interested me because it's that real surreal, or that very surreal, not just like jump scares, but almost that psychological horror.
Yeah.
That kind of bends your mind and makes you think a little bit, not just like boo gotcha, that sort of thing. So
Yeah, the characters in like, for example, Silent Hill 2 remake were very very psychological, like to the point where they really did a great job of taking that horror and like putting it into the characters themselves.
Yeah.
So not their messed up ways like affected how the game actually played out.
Okay.
So kind of doing that was just very atmospheric, and also once again like it was just very atmospheric. Like I remember when I was playing with my headphones, I turned off all the lights and stuff, and I was going through this house, and there was like water dripping. So I actually like got up from my seat, like took off my headphones, and like kind of looked around to see if that water was actually dripping from my sink.
okay.
It was very immersive, and like,
Yeah.
And then like when you're walking and like there's like the floorboards and whatnot, and like that crackling and stuff like that. So yeah, very atmospheric. definitely excited for the color. Like, I love the color palette
Okay.
of this
Yep.
trailer.
Yep.
Very blue and like with the fogginess,
Yeah.
and just like with the spores.
Is the
and all that. It
fog
was
always
awesome.
a thing in the franchise?
Yes.
Okay.
So it plays an important part in the game.
Yeah, because I remember that from the first couple games. I didn't know if that was just a staple of the series or if that was just like a new mechanic or something that was coming out.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. I'm kind of excited that it's not by Bloober Team. I think that what they're going to use Bloober Team for now is just like the remakes,
Okay.
which they once
They,
again
they
really
did
well.
they did Silent Hill 2 remake?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay, so they got a good track record.
Yeah.
I love that.
And that sold millions of copies. So
You know
worked
that's
out.
cool, right? We see a little bit of the. I mean, there's always remakes, but we see a little bit of that in things like Onimusha. You know, they come out with a game that hasn't come out with a new entry in a series, in a very long time. So remaking those old games and bringing them up to current modern day aesthetics and gameplay and just mechanics, I think really help bring people back in. Old players are always going to be there, but that new audience is really what you want. And you don't want people being turned off of a new game because of how that old game looks or plays. So I think it's a good play for companies like Konami and other companies to be able to do this, to remake some of their classics that really sold the franchise to people. And then come out with something new that kind of reinvigorates the franchise. So
Especially if the remakes do well.
yeah,
Because it-
100%.
because
Some
it-
remakes suck,
Yes. Yes, they
Yeah.
do.
but I've heard nothing but good things about Silent Hill 2 remake. So
Yeah. Very good.
I love it. I love it. Speaking of something new, we know about the Switch 2. We've known about that for a while. I think there's a Nintendo Direct coming up soon.
April 2nd?
April, I believe it's in this article, April 2nd. Yep, where they're going to apparently announce launch date, price, and lineup of games. However, there's been some rumors coming out. Nintendo is expecting a huge launch, okay? The rumor is they have about 8 million consoles already in stock and ready to go on launch day. How much you think this thing's going to cost?
I'm going to say it's going to be $399.
$399?
I don't think it's going to go above that.
Okay, yeah. The rumors are the price point being pegged between $3 and $4.99. Would you pay $500 for a Switch 2?
Probably not.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is to me, is the Switch 2, I'm kind of seeing it as like a glorified PlayStation 4 Pro.
So it's like a Switch Pro or something. More
Essentially,
so than
yeah.
a Switch, more so than an actual successor. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like an upgrade or a mid-grade.
How I saw this, like the regular Switch was, it was like a PS3 or like an Xbox 360.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think that they're taking their time, and you know how Nintendo are. They don't make like the most like amazingly looking, like lavish like games of all time. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey, for example, are amazing looking games. But then you kind of look at games like the Pokemon games and stuff, and they're just looking kind of
that's the crazy thing. Like we won't get too much of a tangent of that because that's a different conversation than just the Switch 2 launch. But when you can push the system to its limit to make something like Breath of the Wild or what was the new one? Skyward
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. They made Tears of the Kingdom on Switch like towards the end of its life cycle. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
how is one company able to pull out large environments, beautiful looking graphics, you know, like an open world that's massive like those Zelda games are, and then you poop out Pokemon Legends ZA, you know, where the world's kind of massive, but it all looks like Nintendo 64 graphics, and then like there's 3 people in the world, you know.
Yeah.
That's a very surprise to me. Like maybe that's hey, Pokemon Company or Game Freak, whoever makes the games now, do something about that.
Do it.
But you know, I don't know. I kind of agree with you on this. 500 is kind of a lot of money. 400 is a lot of money. And you know, the biggest thing I'm saying about this console is it's going to be a little more powerful, and your Joy-Con now magnetized to it.
Yeah.
You know, bigger screen. But again, like kind of like you said, I don't know how much the graphical push will really do it for me.
How Nintendo, like, to me, I feel like you get a Switch for like the Nintendo games, because the Nintendo games get the most TLC, whereas other games, like I guess I can't really say that too, because like when they ported over like games like Nier Automata and like The Witcher 3, those games are pretty beautiful looking.
Yeah.
Now, like I would say that the Witcher 3 is kind of a bad example, because when you would out dock it, like, or when you take it off the dock.
Yeah.
I think it only goes up to like 480p,
Oh wow. Okay.
and when it's docked, I think it only goes up to 720p.
Okay.
So, and it's obviously in 30 frames per second and stuff. So yeah, there's gonna be some downgrades and stuff. But when it comes to the Nintendo games like Mario Kart, Zelda games, Mario games, and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it's gonna work fine. It's gonna work perfectly because
Yeah.
I feel like Nintendo and their developers that they have sort of just cater very well
Yeah.
to that system itself.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, what the biggest draw for me, I don't know if this would be a cons. I mention this, I think, every show. Metroid Prime 4. I want to play that game so bad whenever it comes out, and it's probably I'm thinking it's probably gonna be a launch title for the Switch too.
So there's a big rumor that with the showcase that they are going to show more of Metroid Prime 4, and supposedly it is supposed to blow our minds.
I hope so, because they had it was in development. It's been in development for a few years now, but I think it was a year ago that they said they were not happy with where they were at with the game, so they like scrapped it and started over. So that I was really worried that we were just not going to get the game at all. But if they can showcase some stuff on April 2nd, and then if they say, hey, yeah, this is going to launch the same day as the Switch 2, buy it. Buy a Metroid Prime 4 Switch 2. I may actually do that because that would be sexy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
I'm excited. I'm a little trepidatious. I always like new tech, and I love Nintendo, regardless of how weird the company is sometimes. But I don't know if I want to pay that much, especially since I just paid a crap load of money for a PS5 Pro.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. $4.99 just doesn't seem very Nintendo-y to me. I mean, who knows, man? Maybe they're like, dude, the Switch 1 sold so much. Like, we can get away with this.
I agree. It sounds like there were some rumors here. So I think initially Nintendo was really concerned about the amount of product they'd be able to sell at launch. So there were rumors here that this console was supposed to launch like last year, right?
I think it got delayed because
And it got delayed
because they wanted to
make sure they actually had consoles to sell.
to meet demand.
Yeah, that's good. So they're thinking they're going to have about 6 to 8 million. They're thinking about $3.99 to $4.99. Let's hope they have some good exclusives at launch.
And also, I'm just gonna let you and everybody know, you're not gonna get it. You if you pre-order the Switch 2, good job.
Yeah.
But if you did not pre-order it, it's gonna be the same thing with the
I
first
know,
Switch. It's gonna take a while.
I know. I hope scalpers. Hope they can kind of keep scalpers away. You
Let's
know what
hope.
I'm saying? But
Supposedly they have a plan for it,
We'll
but
see. Yeah, they're just gonna have like people with guns at each. How many are you buying? 3.
one
Blast
per
you.
customer.
1 per customer. Boom. Scalper. All right, so we're gonna finish off the show with some hope for the future.
Let's hope.
Okay. You remember Game Informer?
Hey, I used to sell them at GameStop all the time.
Woo, man. I remember that magazine was so tight. I remember I think it was the Destiny 2 spread. They took out like a huge, like 18-page, that's probably way too much, but they took out like damn near half the magazine's worth of space to talk about Destiny 2. And I remember all the imagery and the articles, and it was always such a well-written publication, I feel like. And say what you will about technology and digital, sometimes it is nice to kind of have those little magazines. They have cool covers and stuff too.
Yeah, man. I have my Halo Reach one,
Mm-hmm.
and I look at it from time to time, and I'm like, wow,
Dude,
this looks awesome.
Halo Reach. Remember that?
Yeah, dude. One of the best games.
Pour one out for Noble Team. So this publication was shut down in August of 2024 by GameStop, and the demons that run that hell of a corporation. Whatever. GameStop. Say what you will about them, but they're still here. That's wild.
Yeah.
So we have some good news coming out of it, potentially. Although the publication was shut down, it looks like they may be gearing to ramp up the magazine once more based on some social media information. So the magazine's Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, I guess it's called X now, Blue Sky, Instagram, and YouTube have all been revived and now feature a teaser video of a laptop screen displaying the goodbye message that has been sitting on the Game Informer website since it shut down in August. This message was notably not written by any of the staff members and was the only thing you could see on the website for the past 7 months after GameStop wiped it. Now, on the bottom of the website, it shows a date, March 25, 2025, with the words continue, ? which could potentially tease some kind of announcement next week. So I'd be kind of excited by this. It sounds like the rumors are involved. It says right here, some of the old Game Informer staff, so some of the original actual content creators, it's not like brand new people that are going to take over Game Informer, have been kind of firing up some stuff on their personal social media. So I'm kind of excited. I think video game news, sometimes game reporters are just real douchebags, and it's hard to find good publications that aren't just injected with people's personal beliefs and politics and things like that. I just want to read about games. You know what I'm saying? I want to learn about video games. I want to learn about technology. So hopefully they can kind of keep the focus on games if they bring back this publication, but I'm majorly excited about it.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, like going through the aisles at Kroger and basically looking at the game magazines.
Yeah.
Like just looking at all of these games and all the information that they gave or that they shown on it, and essentially was like, that's how I got my news.
Yeah.
That's how I learned about like certain game series, like Star Fox, for example. So like bringing this back is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be very good nostalgically. We gamers can finally learn how to read again.
Oh man, that's awesome.
And it's just gonna
You can't skip the cutscene. You know, you can't skip the dialogue. You got to read the dialogue, not just the pretty pictures. So that'll be interesting.
True. Yeah. And I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that, you know, we get like those April Fool's stuff back and just all that fun stuff.
Yeah. You know, it's not every day that you see gaming publications like coming back. A lot of times you see them getting shut down. So I don't know if they're going to come out with an actual physical magazine or if this will be more of like digital content through another website. But either way, I'm excited for Game Informer's potential return potential. And I think you should be too. And the more voices in the gaming news world, the better.
Yeah. And, you know, I will say, even if it did like come back just digitally, that'd be so cool. Because I remember when Game Informer went digital, when I was at GameStop and I was selling these pro cards and whatnot, we would ask them, do you want like a physical or a digital edition? And employees got the digital editions for free.
Nice.
So I would have them on my iPad and I would look through them. Dude, there was like cool things where like you could click certain parts of like the article and then it would like show you a video, but it would be exclusive to the digital portion only.
Ooh, okay.
So
there's some potential for maybe something that isn't just like another website of video game publication.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that.
So to me, I hope that they bring that back. That'd be really cool. But if they even did physical, it'd be super cool. But my thing is that we don't know this too, but is it going to be separate from GameStop?
That's a good point.
I don't know.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. There's not a lot of rumors around it. I would imagine so. It's probably going to be separate from GameStop.
I hope it's kind of like a subscription, like a paid subscription type thing, where you can like pay monthly, like maybe like $9.99, and you get.
Keep it cheaper, like $5.
Okay.
Maybe like $3 to $5.
Well, I don't know how like normal. I don't know how normal publications.
I'm thinking
like
the average like Patreon thing is like $5, right?
Yeah. So, well, I mean, $5 would be awesome, but you know how people.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. Hey, if it's premium and if you get like a lot of cool, actual good information, and you heard it here first and things like that.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool. So.
Would be.
Good news for the video game world potentially. And good news for people who miss the nostalgia of those video game magazines.
I agree.
All right, so that's it with the news. We got some video game releases to talk about. Let's do the ones that are maybe just coming up, not the ones that are in the past. Well, actually, there's not that many in the past. So we have Rainbreaker that came out yesterday, March 18th. This is a, what's the word I always say a zillion times? I think it's a roguelite shooter.
Yeah.
That's available for the PC. We have some big boys coming out tomorrow, March 20th. We have Assassin's Creed Shadows. I've been talking mad shit about this game, but I watched a Joraptor video the other day that had some new details. He played like 40 hours or something of the game, and he showcased a lot of the tweaking you can do to the systems to make the stealth mechanic more difficult while maintaining the regular difficulty of the game. A lot of the new systems. There's apparently the ability to build like a base sort of situation and hire people and bring stuff back and kind of build like a small community within the game, which is kind of unique. I don't think the franchise has done that before. And it looks pretty cool. So again, I was talking mad crap. I think I'm going to buy it.
Dude, you should let me know how it is.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for Assassin's Creed. The concept is cool. The game's way different now story-wise than it was before, so it's definitely kind of fallen a little bit, but I've heard that this is that they've kind of, and some of the early reviews have said that they've really mastered the mechanics they've tried to build into the game the last few years, and it's probably one of like the cleanest feeling AC games over the last like 5-10 years. So
Interesting.
it's getting some really good early reviews.
Good. That's good.
Even though the Japanese hate it.
Well, they need it because Assassin's Creed as of late hasn't been like the best. Mirage did okay, but it was like more of like a callback to like the older ones where it was like a little bit shorter, didn't have too many like mechanics in it. They kind of like stripped it down a little bit.
I feel like Origins did really well.
Yes.
And then Odyssey and Valhalla, was it Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Yes.
Yes.
They were well received, but the common criticism was that there was just too damn much. You know, it was like a heavy with side quests that just didn't matter. So it just felt very sloggy and kind of boring.
Yeah, the main structure of like the main linear type of like storyline was like 60 hours.
Yeah, and then you have like side quests and the expansions and things of that nature. So there's already one expansion. You're trying to play footsie with me?
Yes.
There's already one. There's one expansion planned, I think, for this game so far. But what I am seeing coming out of it looks really cool.
Yeah, in my notes, the only thing I have about what I could say about it is even if it sucks, it will sell. Because we've been waiting for a Japanese Assassin's Creed for a very long time.
People have for a really long time, so we'll see. I'm excited. We have tomorrow leaving early access Cataclysmo. Do you know anything about this game?
No, but I love the art style, and I love that it's a tower defense game.
Is it tower defense?
It looks like
okay. I think it was tower defense or some kind of a like tactical RPG type game.
It's like it seemed like from what the trailer, it seemed like you build like castles or like something like that, and then but you can like customize it very well.
Okay.
So that your units can adapt to whatever situation.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to check that out then. That's pretty cool. Leaving early access. March 20th again, we have Rendering Ranger R Rewind. I looked at this a little bit. It looks cool. It looks kind of like a mix of the old Metroid games and Doom.
Yeah.
You know?
So I looked into it too because I thought to myself, this definitely looks like it says Rewind at the end. So I'm thinking like this is an older game, right?
Yeah.
So what I got from this is Rendering Ranger R is a 1995 side-scrolling action video game developed by Rainbow Arts and published by Virgin Interactive for the Super Famicom.
Ooh.
Or COM, I should say. It was released only in Japan.
Oh.
And is gone to be one of the rarest Super Famicom titles in existence.
Okay.
So bringing it back is kind of cool because
that's
now
really
you don't
cool.
have to spend like
you get to actually play
dollars. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Very cool. Okay. I mean, it looks interesting. Those games are kind of hard, and I get really pissed off when I play them, but it looks fun. Looks cool.
Well, hopefully they make it so that they have like a rewind function because what they've been doing a lot of the time with like these older games, especially like games like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Their older games, they have like a rewind function where you can basically just
like a checkpoint kind of thing almost.
Yeah, but also like you can like rewind like what you did. So like if you died, you can like rewind a little bit to like go back to that.
Yeah, because a lot of those older like Metroidvania games, you die, you start over, which is kind of cool but kind of annoying.
Yeah.
All right, neat. Okay, very cool. We're all gonna have a chance to play Rendering Ranger R Rewind. All right, we got another remastering and bringing back in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, the complete edition.
Mm-hmm.
It will be out on PS. I didn't say where the other consoles were. My bad. PS5, PS4. That's crazy. They're still making games for PS4. Xbox One and Xbox One X. Mm-hmm. That'll arrive March 20th. This one I feel like you might be kind of excited about. I feel like you've played like 5 different versions of this game. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. I feel like I've seen you play this game like 4 times. 4 different times. This is coming out for the Switch tomorrow. I've never played it, but it looks cool.
I played it. I bought it day one when it came out for the Wii U.
What is it, like an open world RPG?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, it's have you played like any of the Xenoblade games?
I have not. I just always see the cool mechs and like the fantasy kind of world. It kind of reminded me of Phantasy Star Online a little bit.
Yeah. So like the first three didn't really have too many mechs in it, but this one does, which is kind of cool. The Wii U version was a good game. Yeah. But the definitive edition for the Switch is supposed to like do a lot of like quality of life stuff. They added, I think, some extra dungeons.
Okay.
And
it looks great.
So yeah, it's definitely I'm surprised they didn't do this sooner. Once again,
And see, again, here's an example of another game that has like these huge open world spaces, beautiful graphics, cool looking mechs. Like it's a big game and it's pretty beefy, and it seems like it would strain the Switch. But then you have Legend ZA that looks like shit.
Yeah.
You know, so how do you have one company that can make a game like this and then one that like makes it like this, like all the way down?
I feel
That's
like
weird.
I feel like Monolith Studio, obviously the people that make this, the Xenoblade games, they take their time.
Yeah.
Whereas with these Pokemon games, they're kind of
pooping them out.
They're working like they release every 2 years.
Yeah.
And Xenoblade games don't release they release like every 4.
That's true. That's true.
So I don't know.
They're making you like a fine, delicious like roast that takes like 8 hours, and then Pokemon's like pumping out like McDonald's cheeseburgers right now.
Of course.
Cool.
Of course.
All right. It looks cool though. Nintendo Switch, March 20th. These games I don't know much about, but this one I don't know anything about. Atelier Yumiya, The Alchemist of Memories, and The Envisioned Land. Is this a turn-based game? Tactic.
This one I don't think it's turn-based. I think it's like more actiony.
Okay.
The Atelier series is a game that started in the 90s. They recently remade the first game. It's Atelier Marie. And basically it's always like Atelier and then some girl's name. So Ryza was the last game series, and they made 3 of those.
Okay.
So far, from what I've seen, the embargo actually lifted for like reviewers at 12 today. And I looked at some of like the gameplay as well as like some of their thoughts. People are saying that this is supposed to be an amazing game. It's supposed to be like amazing. It's supposed to actually be a really great game.
Okay.
But there are certain things about it that also like make it. It's like one of those things where they're like 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Okay. Is it a remake or is it a brand new entry?
This is a brand new entry.
Okay.
This is one thing that kind of bums me about these games is that they make these girls like that, because obviously the Atelier games are very girl focused.
Yeah, it's like Stellar Blade.
Yeah.
or what's the other one? The one that's really popular on mobile. The kind of anime game that's like free to play. There's like a zillion transactions in it.
Oh, Nikkei?
Maybe. There's a couple.
With the girls with the guns and whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, once again, it just kind of goes back to like these characters and like how like sexual they look.
Oh, I see. Yeah, we talked earlier before in our little pre-show about this new law that might be getting passed in Texas about like banning graphical imagery involving younger looking people. Mm-hmm. So like lolly style, like anime and manga. Mm-hmm. And I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's like they make like a 10-year-old like super hot.
Yeah.
So it's like, ugh, like why are you even doing that?
And it's weird because it's like it's the total like anime like trope stuff where like they have like the tights or whatever, but they make it like tight to the point where it like shows a little bit more, not just the skin, but like it being like, I don't know, like it's like more poofed out,
a little more risque.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you can, if you go back and like look at this game with the girl that's Yumiya in this one, as well as Ryza from the previous one, you'll be like, wow, like, they really, they cater to the fans for sure.
What do they call that? Fan service?
Yes. Which is fine. Like, that's the thing is like
fan service is good, but some fan service kind of really reveals how like gross people are.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. We're not prudes, folks. Okay, like we're not the most perfect people. However, there is a line to draw when it comes to like anime and manga and games like this, where it's like it's cool, but why are you appreciating it that much when it's kind of creepy like that?
And we also do like good looking women in games.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want our women to be ugly in the
I
games,
joked around about that, I think, when we talked about Fable.
Yeah.
They made her like super ugly. And like everyone's like ugly. Like, so make pretty people in games. Make pretty people in games again.
Yeah.
But don't make them look like they're 10 years old.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. As the artist, imagine what you want and do it. Don't.
That's the weird thing, right?
Okay, yeah.
They're imagining what they want. Little kids.
But that's gross. Don't be. If you're an adult, you're thinking about that kind of stuff. Please, for the love of God, stop.
That's messed up.
Stop.
Don't do that.
Okay?
Don't do that. Go cleanse your spirit.
Like, I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, let's not get into it because then we're gonna end up getting banned off YouTube.
Something.
But anyway, don't be a pervert. Video games are cool. People are beautiful. Stay away from kids.
If you like the game, if you like the way it looks, if you like the Atelier games, by all means grab this one. It's going to be another good one. You know what I'm saying? There's got some flaws, but also at the same time, dude, if you love video games, play them.
Yeah, play video games.
You know?
All right, we got 2 more to talk about real quick. We got Bleach Rebirth of Souls. This is like an anime style beat 'em up akin to like Dragon Ball Z Budokai, I believe, something like that.
Yeah, based off the Bleach series.
They just had an Ichigo trailer, I think, come out a week or 2 ago. I've never been super into Bleach, but these kind of games are usually pretty fun. I'm not going to play it.
Yeah, very supposedly a very underrated anime. Still beloved, and actually, I think Bleach was one of the big like Shonen Jump.
I was gonna say Bleach used to be one of the big 3. It was like Bleach, One Piece, and My Hero. Naruto.
No,
Yes.
well,
no. Okay, that makes sense. I know what you're saying. That Naruto and them were before My Hero. So I feel like it was like Bleach,
Dragon Ball.
Naruto, and maybe Dragon Ball. Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
I think
actually,
those
I would say, I mean, One Piece has been around for like 100 years. So
One Piece. Yeah, it's been since like
The Big
1999,
Four.
I think 98 or something.
yeah. But now there's only one, and that's Solo Leveling. Just kidding. Huge fanboy.
Cowboy Bebop's still the best.
Cowboy Bebop's awesome, man. Ah, man, I wish they'd like. That's the thing. You don't have to remake it. It still holds up. It's still such a good freaking show. Oh my god, dude! Don't remind me. I tried to stick up for that show at first because at first I was like, you know what, this is okay, and then I was like, I never finished it. I was like, I can't get past it. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I did like what's his face from Harold and Kumar as Spike though. I think he did. I think he did a good job as Spike.
I think he did great.
But every time I saw him, I just remember scenes from Harold and Kumar. And so I can't like take him seriously as Spike because he's trying to be super serious. Then I remembered like that scene where he's like, you know what's in here? Semen. Animal semen. And they're like, ah! They run away from the dude at the burger stand. Like, dude, it's so stupid. Anyway.
Oh, that's funny.
That comes out March 21st. PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox One X. Finally, we have Urban Jungle, potentially the most boring looking game I've ever seen. Just kidding. It's cozy.
It's another cozy game.
You build your little apartment. You load it up with stuff. You got your kitties. You pet your kitty. You move your kitty around. Like,
what it reminded me of was Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer.
Okay.
That came out on the DS? Yeah, it was the DS.
That sounds about right.
And then, no, it was 3DS. I don't remember. And then, but with the focus on plants.
Yeah.
So, because they talk about plants.
Yeah, there's plants a lot. And again, here's the thing. I'm not going to knock it. There's a huge audience for these cozy games that are, you just jump in, you play a little bit, it makes you feel good, and then you leave it alone. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to leave this one alone. It comes out on PC on March 21st. So if you like cats, if you want to build your own apartment and not stress about how much your rent is in a big city, do it. Live your fantasy. Pet your cat.
Yeah, I mean, you could spend your rent money on this game.
And then
pay rent in the game.
Pay rent in the game, and then have your virtual pet with your real pet.
Yeah, we have our priorities straight.
Hell yeah.
Gamers.
We do. All right, that I believe is the news and our video game releases for this week.
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything else?
Not really, other than go play Yakuza. You know what I'm saying? Go play Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. I think that you guys would love it.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm gonna start. I just downloaded the director's cut of Death Stranding.
Let's go.
And tomorrow I will probably be buying and loading up Assassin's Creed Shadows. So I'm sure we'll be talking more about it on our next show. Potentially maybe do some streams upcoming here with some of these games that we're playing. But be on the lookout to our YouTube channel. Again, don't forget to leave a comment for some feedback. Leave a thumbs up. Subscribe. I keep hitting this. It's all free. All right. Thank you.
Also, make a comment because comments help our algorithm as well.
Leave a comment. Don't say anything too mean though. If you have feedback, be nice about it. If you want to say something nice, just say it. You know what I'm saying? But keep it respectful. That's all we ask. Thumbs up, subscribe, comment. Thank you for being here this week. We will see you next week. This has been Game On and Beyond Podcast.
See you guys.
Peace.